Hi, I'm Zoe Hall, and welcome here. I was going to say that it was great to see all these cute girls out there, but actually you can't really see anyone from up here, so, but it's a really fun group. So anyway, I want to introduce someone that I'm really psyched about. Her music and her activism, which she practices in concert as well as in her local community, has been an inspiration to thousands of girls everywhere. And Kathleen and Hanna is part of a contagious, necessary movement where girls can speak their minds, be themselves, be artists, and give out information which is crucial to our survival. And whether it's how to practice safe sex or information on needle exchange programs or how to make your own fanzine. She's been a powerful voice encouraging riot girls all over the world to start their own bands and do their own thing with whatever they have around them, equipment, Xeroxes that they can scrounge or whatever, you don't need the internet. She's here all the way from Olympia, Washington, so please bust your heart out for Kathleen Hanna.
What I wanted to talk about was sort of about the media, because we've gotten a lot of attention, and Riot Girl has gotten a lot of attention in the media, and I really, while I think visibility is really important for any marginalized community, I also think what kind of visibility is also really important to think about. And I think that the appropriation of our work can really damage the networks and the connections that we fight so hard to establish. And I wanted to start by sort of talking about like what I do for those of you who probably don't know. About 4 years ago, me and my friend Toby and Kathy started this punk band, and we started it because I was working in this domestic violence break relief shelter, and all these really stupid like dude bands were always playing, and and all their lyrics were like totally like, hey, you know, woo baby baby, or you know, stuff like that. And it was really frustrating because I was seeing violence, you know, all around me, and I experienced a lot in my own life, and I was working with some other women doing a women's space like cooperative, and we were putting on bands there to make money for our visual art at the time. And we were like, God, you know, we should start bands because this stuff's really stupid. And so we did that. We also wanted to be in a band that had overtly feminist lyrics and lyrics about, you know, ending domination in all its forms and hierarchy and talking about privilege. There are a lot of feminist bands that came before us, Fright Rate being one of them, that was really important to us. And we wanted to be like really overt about what we were doing, and I don't know, I guess it was like about the time that Time Magazine or Newsweek came out with an issue of their magazine that said that feminism was dead, and I was really concerned because I was lucky enough to have a lot of friends who were feminists and stuff, and I just thought of all the young girls like in high schools who wouldn't know that like we all exist, and that really scared the shit out of me. And so when we went on tour, we had mailing lists, and we talked to girls about doing fanzines. Do you guys all know what fanzines are? Yes. Okay. Is some people not? Should I say it? Okay. Well, they're like people either get together or do it by themselves and like take writing and then like put them in these little like booklets and put pictures and graphics and stuff with them. And sometimes there's like information, sometimes it's like fiction. It can be about like anything. And fanzines have been really important like in the punk community for a long time. And especially in like the feminist punk community, because we need our own alternative media to talk about each other's work. Because the way the mainstream media has done it is really like to trivialize what we're doing and only talk about the superficial elements. That's sort of my thoughts. You guys there? I swear to God, I can't see anyways. women who were like setting up shows or who were in bands. And so there was this little fanzine, it was called Riot Girl, and what it had in it was information about how to fuck with pops and stuff about how to like get free or cheap Xeroxing and steal stuff from Kinko's. And, I used that to advertise for this meeting, and that was supposed to be like a skill-sharing meeting of punk women who are interested in feminism, who could teach each other how to play guitar, how to set up shows, how to do flyers, how to do fanzines, and stuff like that. And like 20 girls came, and it was really, really cool. And a lot of the girls had never been in a room with just women before. And it was really amazing. And so we kept doing it every week. Then a woman from the LA Weekly came and interviewed me and a bunch of other girls and asked me what was up with Riot Girl, as it was now called. And I told her that even though there was only one in DC, and this is my first positive media strategy, is I lied. I said that there were Riot Girl organizations in like Austin, Texas, and I just made it sound like we were like totally this big, powerful force. And she believed me. And then, so they printed that, and like within a year, I was getting letters, and Riot Girl, the group in DC, was getting letters from all of the cities that I had named, and they had, I think girls had gone looking for it and didn't find it, and they created their own. And that was exactly the idea, and it was sort of the idea of our band too, to like encourage people to not just passively consume like what we were making, but to encourage people to get inspiration from what we were doing, or to hate what we were doing and want to do their own thing better. So like when we're on tour, a lot of times I stick around like after shows and I talk to girls about their bands, or if they want to start bands, or their fanzines and stuff like that. And stuff. Outside I put, there's a table out there, and there's like a list of female-run record labels that have started, like Chainsaw, and Candy Ass, and Villa Coola, and I don't know if I have Queenie on there, but there's also, through this sort of networking I'm talking about, a lot of women's-run record labels have started. So if there's musicians here, you should maybe check out that table. And there's also I put a mailing list, so that if you guys want to see my band play, which I'd really, really like, you guys could go and write your address in there, and then I'll send you a postcard before we come to your town. And we could really use the support. One reason why I'm really shaky kind of being here is because we play shows all over the country. We do tours, like a lot of them. And a lot of times we meet violence like in our performance, and it's changed our performance style. And like I've been physically assaulted while I've been performing, after I've performed. And I'm constantly like harassed, called a cunt and a slut and a whore and all kinds of things like while I'm trying to sing. And the more women and just people who are supportive that come to our shows, the more safe and protected we feel. And that's one of the things that we try to do at our shows. And now that we have a little more notoriety, we have a little more power, and so we're able to demand that we have some sort of security, like female security force there. But largely it's a community thing, and so we really need people to come out to our shows. For those of you who don't know, Riot Girl and Bikini Kill both have like shunned the mainstream like press. Like when people have tried to talk to us, we've told them no, because the kind of attention that they bring us isn't the kind of attention that we want. For some people that might sound weird, because I know that visibility does bring like financial like rewards and stuff for individual artists and for organizations. The thing is that sometimes I think of the mainstream media in sort of this way of almost like an incest model or something, like with the abusive dad. And I'm not using this like metaphor really lightly, because it sort of comes from my life, where the dad, like the kind of asshole dad, like tries to pit like the kids and the mom against like the kid who's getting really abused. Like maybe the daughter's getting like molested or raped, and maybe he gives that kid like tokens and treats and like favors. Do you know what I mean? And then it makes it look like it's really hard for that kid to like tell anybody because supposedly that kid's getting all this attention. And but that attention isn't like positive attention. That attention isn't like the kind of attention that maybe we all could give to each other. And that's why I think like alternative communication systems that aren't based on like getting the notoriety of the media, like of the kind of abusive media dad dudes, I think is really important. And the things that have survived in the community that I'm from, or the things that have made me like be able to keep going, are Riot Girl Press, which is basically two girls in Chicago who are collecting women's writing and fanzines and films and stuff, and distributing those through a catalog. And so that's like maintaining our own like media. And there's another one called Girl that is also happening. Anyways. Okay. I'm back at the right now. Back in the smart lady position. So do you guys know about that movie Tank Girl? Yeah. I think that's really scary. There's this woman named Morgan Starr, and she said this really awesome quote, that the more a system expands to include what looks like change but essentially isn't, the harder it is for us to stand outside and criticize that system. I just had to read a little poem. Does anything I've said make sense? Yeah. I've been up for like 2 days. I totally got insomnia. Like the worst time. I totally slept. Okay. I'm not Thelma and Louise. I can't even afford a real gun. We don't need another hero. Woo-hoo. We don't need another way home. Hey baby, I can't fit into that line drawing, 'cause I'm a freak in fucking 3 dimensions. My pussy hair grows past the boundaries of respect, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. No, maybe not. I said I'm not Thelma and Louise. I don't have time to learn how to use a fucking gun. I'm too busy on the phone talking to my friends about addiction, AIDS, and suicide. I'm too busy to scrunch my fucking ass into a little glossy photograph that some man who's into images of strong women can jack off to. I'm not your tank girl, your riot girl, your diet girl, your buy that issue of Playboy with Sandra Bernhard on the front cover girl. We don't need another hero. We don't need another way home. What I do need is everybody in this room, every time before I go on the stage, to know that there's this many people interested in feminism, and to remember this moment when you guys made me feel like I was smart and had something to say. Because I don't need to look up to find my heroes. I need to look right by me at all of you all, at women who chew real food, who refuse definitions, and who are in this room right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Because I'm not Thelma and Louise, and I'm starring in a movie that's never, ever, ever going to be filmed. And I don't die in the end. I live on. Thank you.
Thank all of you for being here. Camel work means shock to me. I think that's new for me. But camera work exhibited the kids' work that I worked with art 4 years ago. And it was the first exhibit of the Hayes Valley Art Learning Center, work. So I'm thanking them for having me back again. I have a slide. Could you show the first slide? The slide, yeah, I know it's dark. I figured it would be. But what the slide is, it's called Art, Politics, and Me. I am not a big believer in nonprofit organizations. Oh, that's just a personal opinion. I feel like, first of all, it starts off with a non, which is a negative, which means no, and profit, which means no money. In the neighborhood in which I live, that's just doesn't make it. The kids that I work with, the first thing they'll ask you is, Toni, is there money in it? And you've got to show that there is money in it, because we all know that that's what we need to survive. I work with the quote-unquote non-profit situation for 3 years. I have a problem with asking for money from these agencies, mainly because I appreciate the money that does get given, but actually it becomes like a welfare check. When you work in a community that has nothing, and you're giving money, the way that it's expected for it to be spent is just the same way that a mother of 5 gets a welfare check for $575. So I realized in my situation, the best way that I can help my community is be a profit-making business. And being a profit-making business means that I can hire, I can be an example to my community on how you can, make money, and why the need to make money is there. And it's just as easy sometimes to make money than it is to ask for money. This painting here is called Art, Politics, and Me. In the time that I worked in a nonprofit situation, when I first started, I was feeling really good about things because I got my first $1,000 from the Art Commission, which was great. And I bought the kids I work with a VCR and TV, mainly because I was teaching them video. And we all know that in video, in order to see what we show, we need a TV and a VCR. Well, the VCR got stolen, but everybody told me that was going to happen anyway, but hey, it's okay. We got another one. They replaced it. And I think that stealing of the VCR is what started things going downhill for me, because of course it hurt my heart, because whoever stole it was someone who had key access to the Art Learning Center, which was placed in the projects. And when you're a new artist in demand, during that time I was receiving, I got the award for those who cared, local hero award, a couple of others. And what they do, they're good and I appreciate it, but they begin to be like Band-Aids, because these kids still do not have recreational facilities in the Hayes Valley Page Street projects. Those projects up there, there's a lot of drug activity, gang activity, but a lot of people don't know that the kids there don't have any place to go. The only place they have to go is out there where the activity is. I've seen the young people that I've worked with start off as really good artists, and now they sell crack cocaine. And it's sad to see, because what happens is when you start living in that life, I've seen whole families destroyed. I've seen kids who see a death, and when a kid sees a death, it's either they tell or they become part of the family. And this is kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say it all in 15 minutes, because that's all I really have. So what this painting is trying to show is how an artist like myself who goes into the community, how you're treated. From the beginning, I got flack from the residents, the funders, friends, like they said, why do you want to go up in there? Toni, what's in it for you? And people don't understand. If you look at our kids, you got to see somebody's got to do something. And if you've survived, I'm 41 years old, and I'm very fortunate to be that age. I have a 20-year-old and a 9-month-old granddaughter. And I am lucky, because a lot of my friends are not here to say that. And when I was younger, Vietnam and Civil rights was in action, you know? These kids are fighting another war. It's not a Vietnam war, you know, but it's sort of like it if you look at it like that. When you're in a nonprofit, if you can see this film a little better, I'm sorry it's so messed up, but which one? Oh, take. Which one? Make it lighter. Whip. Okay, yeah, let's go to the next one. I done broke it up. There you go. That's what happens when you're nervous with a bunch of women. Okay, so we won't even go into crying about the art politics with me because we've all heard it before. It doesn't work for me. But what happens is when you don't have something in your community, this is the result. This is a set of pastel drawings I call Dice Kids. And like the game of dice, I feel that our young kids are in jeopardy because they're like a gamble. This picture here represents the court scene. And you see the guy in the wheelchair. You always see one. Up in the projects, they call it Almost There. Next slide. Oh, I could, yeah. Cool. Oh, now, this is the Dice Kids again, and I tried to set them in institutional situations because more and more it seems like the schools in which they're living is more like an institution opposed to a learning place. Thank you for coming. I showed this set of drawings at the USF Law Symposium and got flack on the word "fuck you" up here at the top. It's the only drawing that has a word in it, but it's funny how the written word really can work people, you know. I said, I didn't draw it. One of those nice kids put it on. If you go into a classroom, you see the kids in this situation. They don't look like they're ready to study or anything. You know, they're just there. Down in 17th and Valencia, they're building a jail. Have you seen it? Beautiful building, isn't it? See it in great big letters, Juvenile Division on the 17th Street side. And make you wonder who's going to fill that spot. The laws, they're trying to change the laws to make the age 14 where they can try a kid. And we all know when we were 14, you know, tired. But the crimes that are being committed by youngsters is kind of scary. In the dorm, if you've ever seen inside of the cell, one of the things that I think disgusts me the most is the fact that the bathroom is right there in plain view of everything. And when you're in jail, of course, you're a slave. You have no rights, no privacy. It's a place that breaks you down to make you inhumane. And when you're a child and when you're not educated, which I had a nice little debate with a friend about education, and they feel how much is needed. And the more I think about it, yeah, because if you don't have some type of education, you're easily influenced. It's easily to make you believe anything. And when you're a child in an institutional situation, all you can be is what they want you to be. You're no longer your own self, and these youngsters will never know what it is to be themselves. Now, one of the things when you're in jail too, I can't think of what state it is, but one of the governors feel that prisoners been having it too good. They've been getting room and board and food for free. So their thing is for them to work off their jail time while they're in jail. Now, we complain about the minimum wage. Can you imagine what the minimum wage for an inmate is? And I look at it as young people will be cheap labor if no pay at all, especially if a lot of them wind up in jail, which looks like it's happening. And one thing I would like to let everyone know, that the situation that's happening with the young people, it knows no color. It just, poor will be one of the main things, because when you got money, you can pay your way out. But if you don't have no money, you're going in, and you're going to work for nothing. And if you don't work, this is the final one of this set of drawings, is that when you're also young, like I said before, you're easily to be influenced, and you can be taught anything anybody wants to teach you. And this is an example of how that can be happening. Okay. As far as working in the community, it's a God gift that I have an art gallery in the neighborhood in which I live, and in which the young people of the housing complexes and the neighborhood around can come in. They don't have to go up to Union Square to see what art's about. I think it's important that art comes to our community, because it's a good way to educate. And it's a good outlet for a lot of the artists here on the panel that work with young people. You can see a lot of things come out of these kids. A lot of people talk about the negatives, about the drug dealing, about the gangs, but we've got to give them something, to do. When I went to the projects to create an outlet, I was bombarded by so many people, and it's kind of one of the people from, I'll say the name, New Langston Art. The woman said, I said, well, the kids could start selling their own books, because this is a book. I'll be selling for $7 after the show. But it's a book of the kids' poetry. And she sat up there, she crossed her legs, and she said, well, Toni, you just pay these kids money so they can buy drugs. This is from a person that put on a show, that was involved in a show that's about artists in the community. So I realized that she didn't get a clue from the whole show that she was supposed to be a part of. The kids that I work with are like 7, 8, 9, 10, so I'm sure they're going to get the money from their books and go out and buy drugs. But I figure they'd go out and buy now-laters, which is drugs. And these kids need pencils and papers, but that type of thinking. Another person said something about, well, Toni, at least you got the kids. And this is another thing that got me pissed, because there are enough kids for everybody. But how many people have the time, willing, and can, and want to work in a community? It's not whether we have the kids, it's how you treat the people that are working with the kids. Another person said, if I could stop just one person from getting pregnant. Now, I don't think that that's all that we, like I said, the kids that I work with, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, we have pregnancy is a big deal, but I think the young people now are realizing that pregnant is not what the problem is, it's age. And they're not stupid children. They hear everything. It may not seem that they're listening, because no one really listens to them. But they're listening a lot, and they're saying a lot. And in conclusion, I just wish that we would stop and kind of listen to the kids. When you're on the bus and you see them, listen to what they're saying. A lot of them have some messages. When you walk past the projects and you see those RIPs on the wall, take time to read it. RIP means rest in peace. Those walls mean someone died there. And in those neighborhoods, someone died there, and the young people in the neighborhood sees it. And it's like it's up to us as the community, as activists, as women, as people in general, to take hold. It's time for extended family. It's not time. We can't play, because we see what's happening all over. It's not just here in California. It's all the way across. I'm from Washington, D.C. a place where there's supposed to be no guns, but it's the murder capital of the world.